draft, you know, to have a better draft, but they already had a good draft. Kyle, where do you go from this point?
Well, the thing that I felt like was missing was the lack of a true playmaker.
Okay.
On their 3 position. They traditionally like to have both Sam H and Tim's active and finding kills. They play a dual core lineup primarily, much like LGD. They went 3 cores that game. Sand King starts bottom, so the Lycan lane gets help, but you're playing against Darkseer, you need to just farm under tower. Both their other lanes then get crushed. Guarantee Raven and Armel's game, give them favorable matchups. Let Sam H and Tim's run rampant. Pick some stuns.
Pick some stuns.
Exact same bands as before?
Yes.
Definitely none of those heroes were played.
Veno was not banned.
Yeah, well, Veno was not banned by TNC because they had to ban Wisp because they were first pick.
Yes.
This game, they're going to take the Naga that Liquid chose in the original game. But
that means that Lesh is still in the pool. That's the one that Liquid didn't ban out this time. And there it is.
Yep, as expected. It's great against Naga and just in general. And there's the Sand King, as one would expect. One of the stronger openings in this meta, just very simple and solid. Easy 1-2 punch, tower pressure, AoE team fight.
All right. DP made it to second pick. Wow, gracious.
You sound very excited.
So sick and tired of this hero. Jesus.
Maybe you're going to keep seeing it picked. It's the same as Gyro. It's too strong in the mid game. The items you buy are just
I feel like
so good.
Her win rate's not
not
can't
great.
be that great right now, right?
Before previous game, it was 37%. 7 games out of 19 won.
Thing is, the VP and LGD can pick it and win, and everyone else thinks they can too, but they don't have maybe
like
and no one.
Yeah, it's like the TI mentality.
Yeah.
Right. Always that one hero.
That's part of it. It's a bit of a catch-22. You want to copy these top teams and emulate them in your style, but maybe it's better to. You can't ever play it as well because it's not your identity. You want to find and develop your own ideas, but
Death Prophet's going to be in everyone's identity. For
I don't know, man. I don't see it as a TNC hero. You think Armel? Do you really think Death Prophet?
No, definitely not so much.
They banned the Visage this time to help protect it, but
yeah, that's a good start.
Which opening do you like more?
Liquids. I think it's easier to build around, and I just don't like TNC and Death Prophet. I think TNC. I think ET. Sand King, Night Stalker, Nyx. I think the game they played up against, I can't remember who it was, that last land they played, LGD. LGD's first 3 bans were Nyx, Sand King, Night Stalker, both games, and they won both games. Those are the heroes, I think, when I envision TNC and success, because it gives them the ability to play this 2-core lineup with 3 heroes, their supports, and Sam H, just run around the map, finding, slaying, securing the game.
What's happened to Jakiro? I feel like that's just the not. I cannot think of a better combo right now for Naga. It just feels so good. You sleep into Ice Path, you pretty much ensure that you'll be able to stun multiple heroes in the most.
He was the second phase banned previous game by TNC against the Naga then.
Yeah, I would have much preferred that as an opener. I also think that it's better when you're first pick, because Jakiro can always be a core. I know teams don't like it, but I'm a big fan. I think it would have been great in this game too, just because you're a natural pipe builder. And you're already playing against Lesh Sand King, so you know it's going to get value.
That's going to break through one of these years. I mean, Weehaw used to do it just a little bit at TI6.
Complexity used to do it.
Exactly.
You know, it's something you notice. Every time someone's on a panel, they're going to go to bat for something like an X-Pro. Like, I used to play and draft this. It's good. You said the same thing. The second you saw Drow, like, man, it's such a good Drow game. This is going to win the game. Complexity. Love playing Drow. Love playing mid Jakiro. You're a little bit biased, Kyle.
It is, but it's also because, you know, you better understand how it wins when you've played it before, right? And like I've played Jakiro in professional games, I think, on like 3 or 4 different roles. I'm just a believer in the hero. People just buy the wrong items, but that's a much longer discussion for a different day.
So we've seen a lot of Elder Titan as the counter initiation versus Naga, and the other one is Warlock.
Yep.
Those are the 2 that I look for.
I like it as well, because Naga, you're already thinking it's going to be a heavy pressure lane partner when whatever offlane they end up picking, and Warlock, you just heal your core and you don't care.
I feel like I've been seeing more Warlock as a result of that new set that came out as well. Not
Oh,
sure
for sure.
Related,
It definitely is. I think 2 things really make, you don't necessarily, how do I put it, little tweaks like that Bloodseeker change, they make you think about the hero.
Yeah.
Big sets can do the same.
I think if you just get a new set and your captain's asking, hey, what would you like to play here? And like, is this a Warlock game? Can I finally? And then you start thinking about it more, and perhaps it is a Warlock game.
You get a new suit or a new dress, suddenly you're like, I want to go out to a dinner party.
Yeah, there
you're
you
like,
go.
I want to go wear that.
Yeah,
It's
beef.
the same in Dota.
I can't tell if you guys are being sarcastic, but I know this actually happened.
It did.
Like,
I was
for
gonna say,
real.
Beef
Okay.
was not
I
Beef
know for a
loaned
fact.
Tal the like super immortal gold Rubik staff, and then he's like every scrim, yo, this is a good Rubik game. Like every game. Nick's like, I just don't like this. You picked the DP and then 2 liquid heroes. I don't like Nyx at all against Warlock. I understand it is good against Lesh, but if you get run over, it's the same as an Ember, right? You can kill the Lesh, but if you're level 7 and he's running at you with the Bloodstone, what are you really going to do? And it means you buy BKB and you're immortal.
Last game, the Nyx was picked up with a purpose to counter a core hero, a key hero. In this game, it's like a Lesh that could just be played as a 4 position. I don't think you want to be...
Hey, counter Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this
It's
is
not
a
bad.
TNC hero as well, right? Like
Absolutely.
when I think of Nyx Assassin, TNC is probably towards the top of the list of for that hero usage.
But with Naga Death Prophet, I don't know, man. This is looking real good for
Some
Liquid already.
Matu Lycan.
He's all about the HOD heroes. They found the new niche. I think part of their Liquid's problem at Epicenter was they didn't know what to put Matu on, and these HOD heroes seem to be certainly his strong suit.
Did you know that you can actually say niche, and it's correct?
Really?
Yeah, I looked it up.
10 seconds.
Had an argument with Zyori.
What?
As
What
usual.
is a niche?
Niche.
Why would, you would
5
never
seconds
say
remaining.
niche.
So can you say niche?
American dictionary, which we will go by since we are American.
Okay.
Niche is acceptable.
All right.
Both are. You can choose.
But
it's
it's still
optional.
Nietzsche, right? If you're talking about the
Well,
philosopher.
Sure. I mean, who knows?
I would say always niche. If you say niche, it's just too confusing for people at home.
Yep.
Especially
English
at
is
this
already
time.
bad enough.
Do you think any Americans are watching right now?
There's a couple
They are
out there.
waking up for EG. They've set the alarm clocks for EG, not specifically
Boy,
for
they're
this.
going to be
Oh,
disappointed.
and maybe for Optic as well.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of Optic fans out
Yeah,
there.
probably got some NA Dota. It's like 8 p.m. in America.
Is
so-
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
In West
that's
Coast
actually pretty
still,
good.
it's not,
Hello,
so it's-
Americans. I love you.
Yes. Ignore Shiver. She loves the NA audience.
Yeah, they're not a niche audience.
Yeah. Now's the time where we can flame the EU viewers because it's like 4 in the morning there.
True.
Yeah.
Hate those guys. All right.
And they're so low on time. And I honestly, as a I have no idea what to pick here. I feel like if you're TNC, you've already put your head in your hands. You're
Bloodseeker,
certainly
let's go.
behind. I'm about it.
Bow
Ooh.
Rider.
Okay. It's better for TNC. I mean, this at least looks more like their style. You've got Sam H and Tim's playing the Bat Nyx combo. You can win over a laning phase. And my concern is their team fight right now is just awful in comparison to Liquid's.
What do you have? Song into
Impale.
Impale. I mean, we saw that last game. They
Into
had a good
silence.
combo.
You can
Sure,
silence.
5
And
seconds
in all
remaining.
likelihood, your position 1 is not going to have any crazy team fight like that.
Bat with Bloodseeker. There's a combo. You rupture, you pull him with Lasso.
Yeah, into Blood, right? That's pretty good.
Are Mel playing the Death Prophet though? Like, is that active enough for him?
Doesn't really suit his style. It's not
It's
what he's...
survivable.
I mean,
He
he
won't die
won't
4
die
times.
4 times in lane.
Although
That's
they
good.
did nerf Spirit Siphon, so
Don't speak too
who
soon.
knows?
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Nice thing about the Lycan for Liquid is they can run it mid or safe lane. So once they see TNC's pick, which is like TNC's big game-winning hero, Liquid then have a big variety of heroes they can play to kind of win them the game.
So the other heroes that TNC has played for
There's-
Raven, other than Bloodseeker, is Troll, Slark, Luna. That's still in the pool.
You could play a Slark here.
How's Slark against Lesh?
Not great, but you have Nyx. And you don't have... like you also can just buy a BKB like third item. You don't... It's not as bad as others, I would say.
10
Scary thing is
seconds
getting run over by a Lycan. That's where like,
Yeah.
the Luna picks just feel
Yeah.
very weak. That's where
5
Bloodseeker, I don't mind, because this is a fairly tanky hero. You drop Blood right, you
Oh.
rupture him, you don't get run over.
They ban Slark.
I mean, it's just... The entire TNC lineup is very low damage and very slow. They need all their heroes to get online. And you look at Liquid, I love this Lycan Lesh combo. It's so much damage output and pressure, and I am...
I don't like this ad.
And I say they lack damage, and they go DK.
That's
I'm-
like the least damage. Yeah. Well, not only that, but DP and DK kind of feel the same role in a lot of ways. They have that ult that is for pushing essentially, and it's very long
You have-
cooldown. I don't know.
This looks to me like TNC threw out their prep
10
and drafted
seconds
completely reactively. and I just don't like it. I think that they were lost. They had 6 seconds left for that 4th pick. I don't like this at all.
The tilt took over. That's a bad sign.
You have Raven and Armel playing DK Death Prophet. Like those two players and those heroes just
they're both
not sound good.
survivable for Armel. So either one that he plays, which will be the DK, it looks like, shouldn't feed, but
That Warlock set's so good, isn't it?
yeah, that's nice.
I mean, it's still a winnable game, but I look at this. This is the dream Warlock game. Your upheaval is going to do so much work. A big Fatal Bonds, unless you'll just kill everybody. Liquid played so much better the previous game, so I'm going to curse them and choose them to win, which will almost guarantee the game 3 somehow. But
I mean, you guys were all wrong. I just want to point it out. You were all wrong, so you jinxed it.
Let's be all wrong together again. Yeah.
let's go for it.
Everybody going
down?
for Liquid?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think DK DP is just. I want to look at percentages for win percentage of that combo. It sounds just awful.
All right, well, let's see if we could do a reverse jinx. By the way, if Liquid does win here, they will move forward, obviously, in the upper bracket, and they will go up against Optic or Secret. And if TNC lose here, they will go against Infamous or VGJ Storm, the winner of that, at least, in the lower bracket. So a lot to play for here. TNC, they really, really, really need those points if they want to get that DPC invite. Let's see if they can force out a 3rd game with Trent and Zayor.
Thank you so much, Shiver, back here again for Game 2. And, you know, Trent, I think this TNC draft might have a couple of options. They've got some stuns. They've got some initiations. What do you think?
That's an improvement. Okay.
That is an improvement.
We got that going for them. Maybe they did throw out the book. Okay, I might give them that one. Maybe they've tossed to the prep. Maybe that's what they need. Maybe you need these legendary combos.
true.
The Sam H. Batrider. I mean, is there a more iconic, you know, duo than Sam H. and Batrider? Maybe that'll be enough. I can't stand Batrider right now. I think he loses every single game, but we'll find out. Maybe he can get this one here.
Well, I think statistics are with you on DK as well. His win rate this tournament has been in the dumper.
Not looking too good.
Statistics-wise, we'll see, but one thing is for sure, Liquid have the cosmetic advantage. That Warlock, my word, sir, it is beautiful. It makes me want to play Warlock.
And that's saying something, because then you're playing Warlock. So
it's a fair point. But no, I definitely agree with the panel again, even though we were all wrong last time. The Liquid draft just seems like it has so many options. Very well-rounded, a lot of sustainability with the Warlock as well as the Juggernaut. They've got great lanes, great mid-game team fight, and pretty good late game. Great high ground.
If I had to pick apart some problems of it, though, it does feel like it's kind of only GH that can really start fights. It almost kind of feels like that same Tricore idea that TNC fell victim to last draft, right? Where they didn't have this guy who's willing to maybe be a little bit more sacrificial to kind of create these plays. Don't really have that here. Like, it kind of falls all the way down to position 4 in terms of the Blink Dagger and some stuns being set up from GH. You're looking at a very long cooldown situation for Kuroki there on the Chaotic Offering, so maybe if TNC can find their way into some snowballing kills, it could kind of fly back the other way.
Absolutely. So no faith in the Batrider, though. Is that your strong stance here,
I think
Trent?
he just suffers for a lot of the same reasons that the Darkseer does. They're both like, in the past they were just so strong that it's hard to watch them struggle now.
Okay,
you know?
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, Batrider was a much different hero. It's been a flurry of nerfs over the last few years, and it's still remarkable that despite all those nerfs, he's still semi-viable, or at least can work in some games. They will pull an audible, though. It's Batrider headed to the mid, who's going to be matched up against the Lycan.
Now, this is great because they're assuming that the DK was going to be sent mid, I'm guessing, and that's what they wanted the Lycan up against. But instead, Sam H shows up, and it's like, oh, well, this isn't good for Lycan. You know, generally, Lycan in lane against Batrider isn't too bad because they'll have some sort of a stronger support if that matchup ends up happening. But all alone by yourself, there are some questions. Now,
it's not fun.
There's still one problem, though, because Batrider mid, pretty heavy nerfs with the way the towers have been moved, right? Like, there's not a lot of wiggle room here now.
Up top, Armel actually gets clipped by that stun duo. So we will check in on the side lanes here. Mind Control GH, the crazy hero block in the off lane. The Sand King Lesh, we've seen it a number of times. The double stun, huge burst damage. They even get the vision control as they drop some sentries here. So safe lane DK, not going to be an easy lane for him. We talk about how important that Dragon Blood is for that extra armor and regen, but of course magic damage cuts right through the physical mitigation.
Yeah, the Miracle Juggernaut. This is a nice classic. I do like seeing this again, not going to lie.
Right back to it. And he'll get to go safe lane this game. So very difficult, I think, for Raven and Cuckoo to really pressure hard. We will see a Blade Fury put a lot of damage into this Naga Siren. Unlikely to be a first blood, but that Shadow Ward keeping Miracle pretty healthy. He'll chew through a Tango.
Nice play from Cuckoo, though. Body blocks to ensure the damage gets off of Raven and stuck on himself instead. He'll just kind of slowly regen it back up through tangos.
This lane should be much easier for Miracle than his kind of counterpart, who's Armel up top on the Dragon Knight.
Still very curious about that mid though. Like Matamba Man, he's now picked up the stick, so he's adjusted for the matchup here, but I really don't know how successful Sam H will be in terms of the dive. This is the good kind of moments he's getting. Like he's pushed the wave under the tower, so it's not targeting him, but instantly the TP from GH.
GH is here, connects with the stun. He still has a pretty good amount of time on Firefly, and it's GH that needs to be a little careful. You don't really want to rotate another hero for this, but GH, he could actually go down if he's not careful. But is it going to bait Sam H in? He uses the healing salve, maybe the first blood the other way. No, the Wolves aren't quite enough damage.
He's coming.
He makes it to the top. This little Sand King, he's on foot. He's got the Burrow Strike, but still out of range. It's only
Getting
level
the Wolves
1.
ahead.
Can he get the body blocks? This could be big. Sam H gets slowed down just enough for GH to find the stun, but now Cuckoo's on the way in. Connects with a Riptide. He's still alive.
Chase.
There's the ensnare, stops GH, and I think Sam H will finally live. A very epic back and forth, but no death.
Cuckoo comes home to the mid lane.
All right, action-packed to start. The Lycan, well, neither are really farming well in the mid lane. Lycan's not getting a lot of last hits, but nor is the Bat Rider. He's only 6-1. He's put on a lot of pressure with the sticky, but hasn't translated into actual farm.
Yeah, and I think that whole audible call of just like mid Bat Rider is just not nearly as strong as it used to be when you found these crazy matchups. Because again, diving the tower is just, there is just no room here, man.
Up top, seeing some damage exchange. It's Armel that's connected upon by both stuns, but I don't think they'll have the damage to finish him off. Running low on mana, GH does pop a Mango, and they've just barely got it. Mind control. With that last lightning, they'll find one more on Tim's, perhaps. GH tanking that tower. They make it back.
Needed one more Mango there on Mind Control.
Yep. Now that Mango giving him the mana for that lightning to secure the first kill, but it's a first blood for Liquid, and that bonus gold, of course, going the way of GH's Sand King. Is now back mid lane. Cuckoo making a rotation onto Matamba Man. Sam H starting to stack up the stickies. There are the body blocks, but again, the TP rotation on the way. It's Miracle this time, and they will just back up right away.
And he's just bailing. He is out of here. He's like, all right, now let's send the Jug versus the Bat. This is the kind of matchup we wanted anyway. Of course, the ever-present classic when Bat Rider was in his heyday. You just grab Jug or Lifestealer and spin away, ditch out on those napalm stacks.
Invisibility rune sniped by Kuro down bottom as the Wolves stalk out Cuckoo. Nice little snag there for the level 3 Warlock. Definitely a good rotation for Liquid. This bottom lane will be much easier for Matamba Man, especially with Raven having to walk all the way back to the well. The level 3 Death Prophet not really having a great start either, Trent.
Yeah, usually you're looking at having like 10 to 15 more CS on Matamba Man this early part in the game, so wants to try and get to that Lycan point with a really early helm and just going straight for the kills with 6.
Mid lane, Miracle gets stunned. Raven, still only level 3, of course, no silence. Hits him with a Crypt Swarm, but I think Miracle should be able to survive as he gets back into Fog. There's a healing salve. He'll get picked right back up. Now back towards the bottom lane. And Sam H getting very low. These Wolves ticking him down on top of the Shadow Ward. It's going to be really close, but it's not enough. The Tango helping him regen to survive.
Stunned up top as well there from the Armel, but he is a Dragon Knight, so a pretty beefy lad, especially with 4 charges on the wand, make that 5 with that lightning. And they still keep on going, though.
I think they might have this. Soul Ring is up on the Lesh in about 10 seconds. They might still be short on mana. And now Tim's is here. Pump fakes the stun. GH trying to sidestep, but not going to be so lucky as Armel punishes. They overstep their bounds, and now Mind Control has no choice but to back out.
Yeah, I think they were like kind of calling Armel's bluff there in terms of how far up he was playing. Just being like, ah, you don't have supports nearby. And suddenly we just got our little rotation in there, and Tim says, yeah, no, I'm here. It's cool. So a little bit of a feedback there from Liquid.
But even considering that, it is Liquid maintaining a very small economic edge in this laning stage. Matamba Man now level 6, so of course Shapeshift going to be in the fray as he works towards that Helm of the Dominator.
This has turned into kind of a funny Warlock game. Just like not really required in the way that the hero has kind of been picked recently, where he's looking to protect some really hard carry who needs all this help, and like you're getting, you know, you're the one who's getting Sand King Lesh, right? With all his ridiculous spam, the Axe Skywrath, those sort of lanes are where Warlock has really been shining, but Shadow Word now can kind of be used aggressively when he has someone with such high HP regen like Matu, and Crow just wanders in. He's like, I'm going to get a ward down.
This is a bold play. A move that I've made many a time in my bracket. It does not usually work out in those higher rated games, but he gets away with it just unscathed this time. Now back in the top lane, Armel again set up upon Let's see if this will go a little better for Liquid. Mind Control has a lot more mana this time. GH with a stun in about 1 second here. There it is, the Burrow Strike, the follow-up Split Earth, and that DK, normally tanky, will fall. But Raven in the mid lane all the while dies to Miracle, who ends up falling to Cuckoo as a counter kill. So a 1-for-1 in the mid lane. Some musical lanes in general, though, Trent. It's a completely different set of mid laners than we started with.
Yeah, that'll be the first Omni/kill there for Miracle.
Now up top again, more initiation on the Tims this time. Not so beefy, and the Nyx will get killed first. Mind Control pretty low. Armel going to go ahead and use his Elder Dragon form. Really wants to chase down Lesh, but with boots, a very speedy hero won't be able to close the gap. Well, that's a Elder Dragon form on cooldown. Now Radiant Jungle, Kuro on the run. Shadow Ward healing him up, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. There is a TP coming to the shrine. Out come the stick charges, but he does burn down. GH healing up the shrine. Lycan Wolves chipping away at Sam H, now out of the Firefly.
Yeah,
looking like this will be a 1-for-1, and GH now will punish this. Matumba Man getting credit.
Risky there. I feel like they are so reliant on this Batrider. You can't afford to be feeding too much more away. Like, at the very least, Tims is getting that space in the bottom lane. He's the other sort of playmaker that can make some stuff happen during this game, but we are really reliant on that Batrider in the lasso to try and get them some sort of momentum forming up here. And I know that during the panel, you know, they kind of brought this idea of these long cooldowns, or using the Exorcism, using the DK ultimate. Those are things you can kind of play around and try and use those things in, well, in mid lane. Raven's actually being dove before he has the Exorcism, so a bit of a problem.
Remember, Raven did not start in the mid lane here, so he is a bit under-leveled. And Snare onto the Juggernaut will slow down this gank attempt, but Raven just has no options. At only level 5, not a hell of a lot you can do there. Cuckoo doing what he can. Now an invisible Sam H. Healing Ward does get finished off. Nice little bounty for the Batrider, but now the stun. This could just be the end of him. It's a flame break to try to make some space for himself. And it seems that'll be successful as the Wolves chase him down into the tree line. Liquid let it go and just back up. As Miracle drops a taunt. That's nice. Up top, another stun onto Armel. Is this going to be a solo kill for Mind Control? Very low on mana once again. Always the problem with Leshrac. Just feels like you couldn't have enough mana at this stage.
Yeah. And they even bring the Sand King back up too, drawing more attention up here, which takes away that free space from Nyx Sass and bottom. He can't even save him in times. Armel's just down.
They find him, but there are some rotations. Tims and Cuckoo, maybe they can get this into a 1-for-1. Mind Control getting very low, but a beautiful Burrow Strike on 2 from GH, and Mind Control will walk away. Again, this Lesh is just a little bit too fast. No way to close the gap.
Yeah, and since they've been dual laning so much, like this idea of maybe a tri-core without a true initiator, they have great levels so far onto GH. His gold isn't all too bad. He already has Tranquils and 500 gold at 9.5 minutes.
I mean, it just feels like there is no mid laner for TNC right now. Batrider was trying to mid, then they switched it with the Death Prophet. She's now off lane, and now DK comes mid. I mean, Armel is level 7. He will put some decent damage into Mind Control. He's got the Healing Ward, pops it on the high ground, a couple stick charges. Some pressure on the Juggernaut, but this musical mid lane seems pretty risky to me. Now bottom, Matumba Man caught by a stun on the Centaur, and that will be a kill onto Sam H. Nicely done.
He just has no game on the Batrider right now. And it's kind of the same thing with the Death Prophet too. Things not looking all too hot. It's so early. Look at that damage just from the Wolves onto Raven.
I mean, that cost Matumba Man basically nothing. It's just right clicks. He denies the bounty rune, so Raven can't snag it. That's a cheeky little play right there. More economic damage, 8-3. Liquid very much in control of this game as they get another kill mid onto Armel. The Dragon Knight, the one who is farming decently for TNC, still unable to find his footing.
Yeah. Omni/, not even required, which means it's still there and available. As Matu starts to put that pressure down in the bottom lane. Doesn't take the catapult over though. Just gonna relax, I guess, not having the ultimate, so.
Both Matu and Miracle farming so well. 10 minutes in, topping the net worth chart. Mid lane, Cuckoo doesn't have a lot of options here. Omni/, of course, is available. Stun from Armel. Are they going to be able to burst down Miracle? No, not quite. He survives. The Naga needs to be careful, though. If he gets in range of that Omni Slash, it will absolutely be a free kill. There's the Warlock ult on the backside from Kuro. Sets up onto the DK, and again, could be another kill. Song of the Siren is helping, but the burn, it might be too much. 40 HP, he will not live. TNC bringing a lot of resources into this fight, but it's a huge burrow strike from GH, and TNC are just getting cleaned up. 3 down, the remaining 2 have to retreat as Tim's ends up in the Vendetta. 12-3, this is all Liquid all day, baby.
Oh, hard to believe they still want to try and fight that one, honestly. No Exorcism being popped, the DK's already down. And then, yeah, you got in there with the song and it kind of looks good, but absolute disaster. And guess what? There's a shapeshift in 5 seconds coming here from Matu.
Yeah, great Warlock ult and using this Golem now to make the siege that much easier. It's going to be a tier 1 right into a tier 2. They do force out this glyph, but I don't think TNC really have any way to stop this push from crippling their tier 2 tower already.
They have to fight, though. There's no choice. Like, they have DK ultimate and they have the Exorcism. If that Golem ulti is down, you have to fight right now.
Shapeshift.
Even if it feels gross.
Coming around the backside, Warlock gets stunned up. Armel with a follow-up Dragon Tail. Here's the Exorcism you were talking about, and Snare onto GH. Kuro the only one going down, though. Now the lasso does connect onto the Sand King, but Burrow Strike across will get finished off by Exorcism. So it seems like a fight worth taking. Miracle on the run without an Omni Slash. Does manage to spin just in time as that Ensnare comes out. TNC showing a sign of life. Not too bad. All things considered, that's not too bad.
Sure, but is it enough is the real question. Because now you've just made that fight happen, but there's 75 seconds until the Golem's going to be back up, and you're not going to be ready with that Exorcism, and you'll just be getting back into like your DK ultimate as well as your Bat Rider too.
So the literal disco ball from Mind Control. Here it is. He sees Armel. He's ready to party.
He's taunting him invisible. How dare he? Just needs a couple tips going too, I think.
There has not been a lot of tipping this series.
It's not a really typical series. I don't know. That first game was over pretty fast. You throw no tips there. It's not even playful. It's rude.
Rubbing salt in the wound there at that point. Yeah. I think GH has had a pretty incredible game so far. Some big burrow strikes in these last couple team fights that have just made it look easy for Liquid.
And that's all before he even has a blink.
Yeah, that's the real scary thing. In 13 minutes, 1,400 gold. He'll have a blink before too long. Movement now into the enemy territory. Tims will be here to scout it out. Kuro does not have the ultimate for another 20. Suspicious with that movement. Likely to get counter-warded there, but good thought to try to be ahead of the curve if Liquid want to force a fight.
Honestly, this kill in Miracle is feasible. Stun into silence. If you can't try for this kill, you're in real trouble.
Yeah, but
like,
surely you know the Nyx has to be lurking around here. They got heroes on the high ground. Kuro has the ultimate, the pump fake, and he drops it. Connects on 2. Fatal bonds with Miracle on the front line. There's the Song of the Siren. It will reset, and TNC have nothing but to walk away to the high ground. So it's a decent song, but that's 150 seconds now without that reset, and Liquid will be happy to just demolish this tier 2 tower in response.
Yeah, it had to be just a little bit quicker there.
Of course, they go high ground here?
I mean, they can poke and prod. Might as well try and get a tier 3.
I mean, you've got the Golem down. You've got all of these extra
is the
creeps.
big one. That's available, so.
They do force the glyph. There is also an Omni Slash here, Trent. This could be scary for TNC. The Elder Dragon form just popped. Big damage onto Miracle. He's getting low, but he's still alive. Great stun from GH. Sets it up, and the Fatal Bonds are destroying TNC. They're getting dove past their tier 3 at only 15 minutes. 3 down, and now this tier 3 tower in the bottom lane, soon to be rubble. It's only a Nyx Assassin and a Naga. They have simply no way to defend. This is what happens when your liking gets out of control. You have no way to stop this push.
Yeah, they just do not have the answers. I mean, it was a tough draft, sure, but it felt like they kind of had to go maybe outside their own boxes. They're going to get right on the Cuckoo, too. Long range there from Matu. The Hadouken.
Well, similar to game 1, Trent, not too many opportunities to tip in this one. Liquid making it look so easy as they just demolish this mid lane of barracks. TNC maybe thinking about the final hold. They have an Exorcism, so they could take a fight here, but no Elder Dragon form for another minute. Also, no lasso for 10. They get a stun on Lesh, but everybody on Liquid just looks so topped off between the Healing Ward and the Shadow Ward from the Warlock. Liquid almost have unlimited resources in these fights.
Yeah, and now it's time to go home and pick up these items.
Yeah, spend some of that money you just got.
Yeah, a couple racks, yeah, no big deal.
11K net worth at 16 minutes. Very sizable lead. Only one outer tower remaining, and of course Roshan, not something we've talked about, but I think, an option for Liquid if you know some of these ultimates are on CD.
Well, if they can just cover themselves with the Golem, I'm sure they'll head in towards it next. And if you're TNC, got to stay focused. I mean, this isn't the end of the line or anything, of course. We are up in the upper bracket.
Yes.
Good news for
Worth
TNC.
reiterating. No elimination here.
But they got to try and pull something together here. Think of a plan, and that's probably going to revolve around the song, but it's not back up for another 20 seconds, so they're still smoked, though.
Yeah, Tim's scouting things out here, sees that some of Liquid have headed back past that tier 1 mid, finds Matsu, connects with a stun. Armel has the follow-up Dragon Tail.
It's a good pick.
Great pick on the Lycan, but I don't think they'll find anything else. First death of the game for Matumba Man.
I don't even know if it's worth trying,
Mid.
because it'll take away your exorcism.
GH goes in onto Sam H. Mind controls there. Easy pick on the Bat Rider.
Yeah.
And just like that, it ends up being kind of a wash. And snare onto Miracle. He'll start spinning. TP gets interrupted. Nice split earth for Mind Control. It's another one. Now on the other side, GH, he's smoked up, looking for an initiation, but TNC are heading for the hills.
If I was Sam H, I would be a broken man in this game. He is just, I don't know what hero he's playing, but it's not Bat Rider. He's had 0 opportunities. He's 4-1-1 skill build with the
he didn't even have a spot to lane. He started mid, that didn't work. He kind of rotated bottom, that didn't really work, and he's just turned into this roaming Bat Rider.
Yeah.
It's like it feels like a position 4 Bat Rider that didn't spend any time jungling. I mean, they even had a stack here in the jungle, and now Liquid are just going to take it for themselves.
That's feeling pretty gross.
I don't know what TNC can do here, Trent. This is such a brutal game. Just like the first match, it just fell apart so quickly.
Yeah, and Liquid are just covering themselves so well. Look at all these sentries, you know, just plop them down everywhere.
Yep.
It's one thing, Kuro, I mean, there's a couple games where he's just been battling up against other squads where it just feels like all Kuro ever buys is sentries. I mean, look at him, brown boots. In a game where they have 2 racks down, this guy, all right, he just bought drums. He's got 1 item now.
Kuro getting really greedy this game.
Yeah, a wild guy. But still 3 sentries in his pocket, an arcane rune available.
My. So they're going to get an easy Roche here at 18 minutes. And then Kuro, no, they're going to give it to Miracle, actually. I was thinking maybe be for that Golem, but Omni Slash, I think, just as good, as well as that healing ward.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
no
they back out of Roche.
Given. They are just looking for the kills. Just saying, hey, you guys think they're coming? Want to go kill them? Want to go high ground? We can kind of do whatever.
Yep. Certainly Liquid's game right now, and they can set this tempo however they want. Tim's needs to be a little bit careful. There is a sentry ward down there.
They're going to try and force the song at a Cuckoo.
Yeah, he's popped the shapeshift. He does have a level 3 Necro book also, so of course the reveal is in play. Naga dies, can't even get the song off in time. Maybe even for the better. Now she'll have it when she respawns for this high ground defense, if that's where they go. But it's the other way. They go into Roche, and with Naga dead, this feels very safe.
Yeah, exactly. There's no shrine, too. So even though, yeah, she's a short respawn, you know she physically cannot be here in time. There's just no way.
That's true. So Aegis going to Miracle. Not going to give it to the Lycan.
Don't they blink forward with the sentry? They were so close to where Tim's was lurking. I think they spotted him on the Observer sentry combo over here and just kind of moving this way through the jungle. So nearly got themselves another pick off. Very clean, crisp Dota from Liquid. Yes, they have had some struggles as of late. You know, some of these other titans of the earlier parts of the DPC, like Newbie, started off very strong, secured themselves top spots in the DPC rankings, slowly degrading over time. Not gonna lie, they would have, I'm sure, agree. You know, they're trying to bounce back, trying to get prepped and ready for TI, and Liquid's still looking for that first major win. They feel like they deserve one.
That's
Come
true.
on. But,
Very true. A lot of storylines in this super major here, Trent. But the high ground siege will commence. Miracle on the front lines. Absolutely the right way to go about this. You can see Liquid just waiting for TNC to come in. Please initiate on Miracle so I can drop this rock and hit you with the fatal bonds. There's the setup from Cuckoo. TNC going aggressive. They know they have to take this fight. But Kuro, so far back, interrupts this whole initiation and sets it up for Sam H to die to the Omni Slash. Raven just gets crippled by Matumba Man. Buyback to the Bat Rider, but it just doesn't matter. Liquid are completely destroying, and that's going to be the GG. 23-6, 17K net worth in 20 minutes. This was one hell of a series for Liquid fans around the world.
Yeah, I think if you're a Liquid fan, you're like, now that is the team.
Now that's
that
how you do
I
it, boys.
TI. You know, that's what they looked like. Couple classic hero picks coming out too, just to top it off. with the Miracle Juggernaut.
unrelenting pressure
I
in
mean,
both games.
I'm talking about a Miracle Juggernaut that we just had a Matu Lycan. This guy is the Wolfman, you know? He's the one who started this whole damn thing. The fact that he's able to pick that up so late in the draft, just a true testament to how many heroes they have at their disposal and, like, all of these different strategies. The way that they move their players around from this idea of, like, who's the playmaker, who's the anchor with all that net worth in the game, who's maybe going to be sacrificed a little bit. And that's sort of the problem that we're identifying with the TNC. Like, the way they're playing in these games, it's like, okay, so who's getting farmed, who's making plays, who's doing this? Oh, no, we're all just going to play mid, I think. So there were some problems there.
The musical lanes just didn't work for TNC. I think the panel nailed it. It seemed like it wasn't a TNC draft. They weren't playing in their comfort zone, and that's what we witnessed. But that said, we're going to hand it back over to our panel for a little post-game analysis.
Yeah, thank you, Trent and Sayuri. And indeed, it seemed like TNC just not in their comfort zone. The Till got a little bit of the better of them, and Liquid just looks strong as ever. They 2-0'd. They make it to the top 6, so congratulations to them. They will play again in 2 days, if I'm correct. But they looked good doing so. I think that was a solid performance from Liquid.
Yeah, I think you're going to look good when you're versing a TNC team that's putting Raven in the offlane on Death Prophet, Armel safe lane on DK, Sam H mid. What the fuck are you doing, TNC?
I can't really add much to it. I don't know what to say. I just double-checked. TNC hasn't won a BO3 at a major since December. They got 4th at DAC by winning
Major
BO1s.
playoff.
Sure. Yeah,
Playoff.
sorry. They win the groups.
Sure.
They keep giving me false hope. I watch them in groups. I'm
They
like
always
singing
do
their
in groups.
praises.
Yeah.
It's so good. They look so crisp. And then
Is
they're
this the
just
pressure?
I have no idea, but I would call them
It's a curse at this point.
tilting out of control. That's what TNC stands for right now, because they just look like a shell of their former selves, and they're getting outdrafted, outplayed, and outlaned. And
I would say just
this
these
looked
lineups
lost.
alone, like the push for Liquid was ridiculously good. And even if it went late game, their late game is still better.
Their draft has no damage. They last pick a DK.
Yeah.
What does that do? To God's point, he said right off camera, Bloodseeker could have saved the draft, or at least given them some sort of win condition. That's last banned by Liquid. Why are you 4th picking Bat? You could replace that hero. You obviously couldn't replace Bloodseeker.
Yeah, just, I don't know. This is not the TNC we saw in group stage, that's for sure.
It really wasn't.
But I mean, they have had a history of going to lower bracket and doing well, although not maybe
No,
in the
they
last
don't.
6 months.
This is a BO3 tournament, Suns
You're
fan.
talking about 6 months. I'm talking about years here.
Oh.
They have a history
What?
of lower bracket runs. And by that, I mean getting like top 6, which is not bad.
Hey.
But they want more than that this tournament, right? So
They do.
Ah.
They need more than that.
They're going to play the winner of VGJ Infamous. I don't see that. That's not.
VGJ Storm, by the way.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh, okay. Yeah, VGJ, that's going to be, if that goes the way we expect, I mean, I'm on VGJ Storm's train right now. They, despite being in the lower bracket, I think they're quite strong.
They lost to a real solid Mineski team yesterday, but they've looked good through multiple events, and I think they're heavily favored against Infamous, and I would I put them way ahead of TNC right now, and don't want to take anything away from Liquid. They demonstrate why they're TI champions, and I feel really silly saying the underdogs because I kind of, again, I bought onto the TNC hype train like I keep doing.
It happens.
Yeah.
We're all guilty of it from time to time.
I mean, it did look promising. It's not like that feeling came from nowhere. And Liquid has looked okay over the last couple of months, but not as good as they used to be. But this is a little bit of the Liquid from old. And if that is because TNC just made them look better, or maybe they're truly back, we won't know for sure until we see them in the next match.
I think Matumba Man's a good barometer for Liquid's comfort. If he's on a hero in a draft where it makes sense and he seems to fit in, I love what Liquid does. When he's forced to play something uncharacteristic, like a couple of Lina games back at Epicenter, he's not necessarily bad at Lina, but I just think that his role in the team is much better suited for the guy that is objective-centered. The green heroes, Lycan, Lone Druid, Visage, anything that's micro-intensive.
Venomancer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. His
They're
favorite
still
hero.
all about it, man. You're going to see Liquid play Veno. They're believers.
Yeah, these scores. Mind Control, 409. A great game, too.
I think you could probably flip a coin, and a 5-headed coin, of course. Maybe I should have said die. I probably should have thought about that ahead of time. But I think anybody can be MVP.
You're not
this
paid to
game.
think here,
Doesn't
Suns
matter.
fan.
That's a good point, actually. Thank you.
You're here for the memes.
Thank you.
It's good to know
Today,
your place.
TNC was the meme.
Unfortunately
it
for
feels
them.
good if you're Liquid to have that easy first-round match, just because it is hard in these long tournaments to give 100% every single series. It tires you out. And hey, you had a 15-minute game win. All right,
Yep.
let's go home. Let's prepare for our next match and chill out for a bit.
And you got to be happy as well with your next matchup, which is going to be our next series, of course, Secret versus Optic, because both teams are kind of up and down, but I'd say at this tournament outside of the top 5, and if you're Liquid, you're in form, I think you're confident in your matchup. Better than LGD or VP at least.
I mean, we mentioned that for TNC and Optic, it was good to be on this side of the bracket. The same thing goes for Liquid. They're not going to have to face Virtus.pro or LGD, which at this point looks like the true test.
Yep.
Until they were already in the top 4.
Even Mineski. Mineski's looking like the other top 4 team here. I'd say Mineski looks as scary as Secret or something.
I'm not surprised by that because I think Mineski's guaranteed. You know, there's a scenario they don't make TI invite, but Liquid, Mineski, they're going to be there. This is their last chance to play competitive Dota. We're going to have qualifiers, but they don't have to worry about those. Boogie's going on vacation.